Okay, obviously Manchester City have been banned from European competition by UEFA for 2 years. Now, Manchester City have raised questions about the investigation into their financial fair play breaches that date between 2012 and 2016. Um, Very interesting times. Now, AC Milan fell afoul of this same ruling a couple of seasons ago. They got a 2 year ban reduced to one. PSG have been investigated. So they're not the only club to have issues with financial fair play. But this raises a lot of questions. Now, European qualification domestically, Man City could win the FA Cup, the League Cup, and obviously finish second or third, it looks like, in the Premier League, which all those competitions result in European qualification. So if they beat Aston Villa in the League Cup final, does that mean Aston Villa now qualify for the Europa League rather than Man City? If they win the FA Cup final, does that mean whoever is the runner-up qualifies for European football? And as it stands right now, Sheffield United would qualify for the Champions League qualification stages rather than qualify for the Europa League. So it does mix things up with the chase for Europe in the Premier League. On a European front, if they were to win the Champions League, they wouldn't be able to play in the European Super Cup at the beginning of next season. So that's one competition that they wouldn't be able to enter. It does pose a lot of questions. Now, Man City have said that they weren't happy with the process that led to this decision, and they may consider appealing. Now, AC Milan appealed their 2 year ban, got it reduced to a year. PSG have also been investigated and have cut a deal with UEFA. But this poses questions about the governance of the sport. I know UEFA have come out in recent times and said financial fair play isn't working effectively. So it does show a failure of governance at the continental level by UEFA. It does show a failure of governance. And if financial fair play was to be properly implemented, so many clubs would be thrown out of competitions, be it domestically or in European level. So the financial fair play rule as it currently stands is not correctly implemented. There's too many loopholes and it's weakly enforced. Plain and simple, they have to change the system that is in place. On a Man City front, they could go as high as the Court of Arbitration for Sport to have their ban overturned or reduced. They could appeal that high if their appeal towards UEFA doesn't get accepted. So there's that permutation. Also, player retention and player recruitment. Players could, seek to leave. Players could leave Man City in the summer. Players also, when considering their options for a transfer, may not decide to go to Man City and may decide to go elsewhere. Could also their trophies they've won between 2012 and 2016 be subject to review? Could the FA go, we might strip the titles you have won in that period, which will include league titles and FA Cups and League Cups? Could they lose that silverware that they've won? So that's another permutation that hasn't been considered. I think there's more to this to come. I wouldn't be surprised if Man City do appeal to UEFA about the punishment they received, considering that AC Milan, I would believe, is the precedent in this case. And if UEFA uphold the ban, do they go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, or do they accept their punishment as final and take the 2 years out? Guardiola's future, will he stay post the end of his contract? Will he leave before? That's a question. How long will Guardiola be manager? And how many of the playing group currently decide to stick it out for the 2 years if the ban is fully upheld because they don't get European football? How many of those players want to stick around? Even though it makes their league campaign easier because they're playing less games and less fixture congestion, so they can focus on the league, they can focus on the domestic cup competitions, how many of those players actually stick around? And also, as I say, player recruitment for new incoming players coming in. But UEFA has said that, as I say, financial fair play doesn't work. It's a flawed system that they have in place. It does need reform. This could be the catalyst for it, because if they were to properly implement it, so many clubs across Europe would be in breach, and they would have to give bans to so many clubs. It would make a mockery out of the Champions League and Europa League as it currently is. Other clubs, could they, request that the FA look into Man City's domestic trophies, and could, trophies be re-awarded? That's something else that could happen. There's more to come out of this. We'll have to see what plays out. But for now, Man City are banned from European football for 2 years, and this will be ongoing. We'll see if they go through the appeals process, and we'll see what happens domestically with the FA as well. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts and comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.